Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Whatever time you are watching this video, I hope that you enjoy your day, and I hope that you are ready to learn about computer science. Hello, my name is Rashad, and today I'm going to be talking to you about computer science. But before we get into the meat of the video, I first want to go over the content of what will be shared with you throughout this video. First things first, I'll be going over what is computer science. Second, we are also going to be covering the supply and demand for computer science majors and how shockingly low the demand for them is continuously outpacing the supply. Third, I'm also going to go over some topics in computer science. And fourth, I'm also going to be showing simple examples of each topic. So, stay tuned. And lastly, Bible history and computer science. Okay, I'm not sure if you know this, but computer science majors are very low in supply and very high in demand. What this means is that there are less computer science graduates and more jobs. You still don't understand what I'm trying to say here. It's that the jobs in computer science are in very high demand, which means they need people to fill those jobs, except there aren't enough people to fill them. Let me give you an example. In 2019, there were more than 389,000 jobs in the computer science field, but there were only 72,000 graduates to fill them. According to the U.S. Department of Labor Bureau of Labor Statistics, also known as the BLS, computer science and information technology field is expected to possibly grow by 13% from 2016 to 2026, which is faster than the average growth rate of most occupations, though this does mean something good for the computer science field. However, it's just going to take some time. Alright, now we're going to focus on topics. The first topic we're going to start off with is going to be networking. Now, networking is the study of networks. And networking is the process of connecting two or more computers, whether it would be through the purpose of sharing data, providing technical support, or even communication between those two same devices. Majority of the time, this would only be used for like business purposes, for like a company, but we're not going to be focusing on that. For this topic, we're going to be focusing on VTP, or the full name would be VLAN Trunking Protocol. Now, VTP, or VLAN Trunking Protocol, is a Cisco proprietary protocol which propagates the definition of a virtual local area network, also known as a VLAN. So basically what VTP does is that it enables you to set up a VLAN in only one switch, and that one switch will then propagate that same information from the VLAN to every other switch that is on that network. To put it in short for you, when you create one VLAN on a switch, and then that one switch will then carry all of that information to the other switches connected to that network. So you don't have to keep creating the same VLAN over and over again. You could just do it one time, set the protocol, and there you go, you're good. Alright, now let's get into our second topic, which will be computer programming. Now, programming is the process of designing and coming up with ways to solve a problem. It tests your thought process as to how you think situations through. It tests your coding skills as to how well you know the programming language and how you apply syntax. To put it in short, basically how you logic, how you try and solve the problem in your own way. Programming is all about how to solve a problem. The whole point of making an executable program is to find a way or accomplish a specific result or perform a specific task. Let me give you an example. So You are tasked to write a program to ask the user to input 3 numbers, and you are to find and output the largest number. What you have to do is find out what's actually being asked of you, and then apply syntax to solve the problem. With that said and done, let's get into our topic, which will be the programming language of Python. Now, Python is one of the many types of programming languages. It's basically one of the easiest ones you could ever learn, due to its easy syntax and code being very readable and easy to understand. Python allows you to write a program with fewer lines of code than most other programming languages would allow you to. Plus, due to its easy coding and syntax, its popularity is growing shockingly fast. Another reason why Python is cool is that the code modules are very interchangeable. You can write program one way, you can write an if statement one way. There are multiple ways to write different types of code. So basically what I'm trying to explain to you is that unlike other programming languages, Python's code can be written in multiple ways. It can be written in a long way or a short way, and I'll be showing you an example. Alright, so moving on. Now we're in new territory, and we're on the topic of database. Now when I say database, I bet you're thinking of Microsoft Access, but database isn't just that. I'm only talking to you about an open source software called MySQL. Now, MySQL is a relational database system, and yes, it technically is just like Microsoft Access, but unlike Microsoft Access, MySQL allows you to create databases and queries, etc. on a more microscopic level, meaning that you can create databases and queries from blocks of code. And those same blocks of code allow you to create a database from scratch. And you're probably thinking that this might be hard, but no. MySQL is actually a very powerful and simple programming language, and it uses very common words to carry out and do its executable functionalities. For example, in order for you to write a query, you need to be able to specify and tell SQL what needs to be done. SQL also allows you to create and manage connections to the database servers. There are multiple features in MySQL, but the main ones are data modeling, server administration, data migration, and finally, MySQL Enterprise support. And moving on to our final topic, how does Bible history tie into computer science? That's exactly what I'm here to talk to you about. Now, digital technology has become a major factor in our everyday lives and our increasingly fast-paced world. The world has become more and more remote aside from reading a Bible. Some Christians may not think of the fact that computer science related careers have no correlation with the Bible whatsoever. However, they believe since the Bible doesn't mention computers or computer science in general, they believe that it must not be important to their faith. However, the Bible does speak about God's creation and His people. People have argued that computing is a part of God's creation. The reason why I say this is because computing revolves around literally everything we do. And Genesis chapter 1 verses 26 to 28 basically indicates subdue and rule over His power and creation. So if computing is indeed part of God's creation, then the men and women who work to increase the understanding and mastery of computation, computer scientists, are therefore obeying God's command with respect to this part of His creation. And that concludes all of what I wanted to go over in this video. So if you did enjoy, I hope you learned something interesting about computer science. With all that said and done, I hope you enjoyed the video and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.